go.
Welcome to this podcast of the Disagreeable Nerd Board Game Snob, whatever.
Board Game
Oh my
Snobs
God.
present Disagreeable Nerd.
We're back.
You're not back,
Yeah,
Sharde.
we're temporarily back.
Temporarily.
Deej.
We never left. We've always been here watching,
I've missed everyone.
listening.
We've just watched Dune, the second part of it, which we've had to wait many years.
I appreciate the fact this movie was simply called Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
You don't like it when there's titles?
Just keep it simple.
Well, like they do. I like it when they do like Mission Impossible. They do 1 and then 2 and then 3. But there's something underneath
All of a sudden,
that.
now
It's
they're
like-
reckoning.
Yeah, it's like new Mission Impossible 4.
1, 2, 3 didn't
But
have
this
anything.
was a complete movie, being Part 1 and Part 2
That's
of
what
the book.
That's the thing is I had to wrap my mind around that. Is that it is a one movie.
So you got to watch all 5 hours together to get the full story.
I understood it. It was there.
I was impressed how well he did it so that it is understandable.
Well, first
'Cause
off,
there's a lot.
we need to go shot by shot,
Oh,
scene
God.
by scene.
We'll be here all night.
It opens.
So number one, if you've not watched this show yet, don't listen to this. You need to go watch it. But it's probably out of theaters by the time this releases. But if in case you haven't, this will be just as good. This will be this synopsis. So like the first scene is just them like they're just blowing stuff up because they're in the sand, right? If I remember correctly, because they've got Timothy Chalamet. And
Oh, no,
he's-
it was 3 hours ago. I've kind of forgotten. What's
Okay,
happening.
I'm like thinking about what would happen to
Well,
the
like
first
Timothy
part.
Chalamet, because it like starts off and it's like, oh, the Harkonnens, they're burning bodies because they've won.
That's right.
They're cleaning up.
They're
and,
cleaning
and
up
they're
their
all hiding on like
war.
this dune. That's where it starts, is on a
They're
sand
hiding on the
dune. And then here comes the Harkonnens, and they're all like, oh, they're after. They think that Timothy Chalamet might be the desert messiah.
Okay, so 2 things so far. It's Timothy Chalamet
That's what I said.
and Harkonnens.
That's what I
Okay,
said.
I
But
was
you
thinking.
can continue to...
Okay, did Jerry say Harkonnen?
He's saying Harkonnens.
Whatever they are. I don't care.
But
Well,
it's just-
they said it differently in the old movie, right? Harkonnen.
Yeah, it's this. Yeah,
Now it's Harkonnen.
I'm using the old English.
the old Dune
The
language.
old dude. Don't correct me.
The
Speaks the
OG.
old
But
Dune.
here's what I thought about Timothy and what's her name?
Paul.
Zendaya.
Her
Chani.
name was
Chani.
Chani.
Paul
I
and
was
Chani.
thinking, for some reason, I thought they said Johnny the entire time.
I did too.
I was
You thought
thinking-
I did
Johnny?
too. I was thinking
like,
Johnny.
I
I
like
kept
that.
thinking, here's Johnny.
I want. Is there
Yeah,
chemistry?
I heard Johnny
Is
until
there
like
chemistry?
halfway through, and then I heard Chani. I was like,
I was thinking about that.
Is there chemistry?
Johnny. No.
I'm not really feeling it. Like, I'm trying to,
I think they're
but
both
I think
good
they're
actors.
trying. Yeah, they're good actors, but I think they're trying to make chemistry, but they're really just bros.
Yeah,
Brosers.
this
Like,
was
I don't know.
he was in friend zone pretty
It's
bad.
weird.
But I did like her character because she's like, I'm going to teach this guy that she was atheist. She did not believe
She was
that he
non-
might
Yeah,
be. She is
non-believer.
not dating the Messiah.
right.
She's like, this dude, he's whack. I'm going to teach him how to ride a worm. Here's how we save water. And then he like does some weird things that's like
he does
people.
lots of.
He likes
does
to get
lots-
high. He likes to get high.
No, his mom got high first.
Yeah.
So
Dude, she changed quick.
So Rebecca Ferguson, who I love, she is the Greatest Showwoman. But she was in the Greatest
She's good.
Showman. She's good. She's
I do love her
Yes.
as well.
So she goes and she drinks blue Kool-Aid. They give her this stuff. And they're like, this is only women can handle this. That's another thing. They say we're all equal here, men and women. We all fight. All the women fight. The men fight. But only women can survive drinking the blue Kool-Aid.
Right.
I wonder if he was inspired by the blue milk from the teat of the water monster in Force Awakens.
Oh, for sure.
But this
Everybody's
is not.
heavily influenced by the last.
This is either worm urine or worm gastric juices.
It's worm urine.
We
Worm
don't, but they stick it down
It's
the
worm
worms.
blood, isn't it?
I don't
It
really
may be blood.
I wasn't getting
I
urine.
don't get blood from that.
They had to kill it, and then they shoved it down its throat.
I don't think they killed it. Did
It was
they?
too liquidy.
Yeah, they drowned it.
They drowned that worm.
They drowned the worm, and then extracted it from its mouth.
R.I.P. worm.
Okay, I'm gonna go with that.
The worm could not survive in the water.
I will say that.
Yeah.
That makes
It stopped.
sense.
It was squirming, and then
It's yeah.
stopped
Yeah.
moving.
Okay.
Okay.
Spoiler
Apparently
alert.
That must have been when I went to the
It was
bathroom.
exactly when
You
you
were in the bathroom and you missed a scene where the little
I
small,
missed the worm.
the little short lady. I'm not going to say the little
she
short
was
lady.
very small.
Massively
She
short.
killed
She
the
didn't
only
look
worm.
like a small-
She killed a baby worm.
I didn't know she was small until I saw her standing next to Timothy.
Well, everybody's small
in the
next to
second
Timothy.
Scene of her.
He's tall.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Timothy's mom, Rebecca, she drinks the the blue juice, and then she becomes
The water of life.
the tribe.
Reverend Mother.
She becomes the tribe's shaman or whatever, and she gets face tattoos, and she just
Reverend
weirds
Mother.
out.
Dude, she kind of becomes gangster, honestly.
She
Like,
starts talking to her
gangster.
baby. That's in the fetus. She has a fetus,
See,
She was already talking to the baby.
and she's
She-
talking to the fetus,
She was already talking to the baby.
But she
Question.
wasn't fully
and the fetus is talking
being
back,
vocal about it until she drank the worm juice.
and the baby's like asking questions,
Well, yeah, because they can control the sex of their babies
which is awesome.
at conception. So go ahead, Cobb.
was in the book.
Can women not do that?
I wish.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted.
In the book, was not his sister born by the time he
I think
took
so.
over the
baby. There's a baby somewhere because she's a little blonde thing with blue
Yeah.
eyes, and she's acting real weird.
Yeah, I thought his sister was
children
born.
of the corn.
But
She
he
was
also
she was
had-
exposed to the blue juice.
Yeah.
But he also had a baby that died or something,
I don't
and then
know
I
that
think
part.
there was another baby. I think there was a couple more babies.
But
in
old
the
Dennis
book.
The
Villeneuve,
children of Dune.
he kept showing like right off the first thing like in the movie, he starts showing fetus. He's like, this lady's pregnant, and I need to make sure you understand. We can't just say she's pregnant. I'm going to show you the baby, the fetus. I'm showing you the baby right now, and he does. They kept doing shots of that,
It's like, we get it. There's a baby here.
and then she talks to the baby.
And she talks to the baby. And the baby, because when she drank that juice,
It got
it like
exposed.
went straight to the baby. And
Yeah.
the baby's like
yeah.
born a crack baby.
No, it's born with the blue
It's
juice in
born
it.
looking like Anna Taylor-Joy.
Yeah.
So
She's got
fishy.
big eyes.
fishy baby.
Wait, hey.
She's got big
now.
eyes.
Big eyes.
does
have
yeah,
wide
she
set
does.
eyes.
Yeah, she does have wide
Tell
set
me
eyes.
she does not have
Her
big
eyes are very
And
far
then she turns
apart
into
or
Furiosa
something.
in part 3, which also takes place in the desert.
Basically,
Does not look like Charlize Theron. But
that's basically what
And
happens.
I was thinking that during the previews they had of Furiosa. I'm like, how do you get Charlize Theron out of
So,
Anya Taylor-Joy?
Wait a minute. Do you think that you have to recast somebody that have to look exactly like them?
Similar, I would hope.
Similar, you think?
Obviously, I mean, they can't do that because they're not literally the person as a younger person. And when they do it, it's kind of weird, like they did in
When they
that
do it.
Looper movie.
Yeah.
They did prosthetics. Speaking of
Right.
that, I watched that Godzilla Legacy thing on Apple Plus because my wife bought an iPhone. I got a month's worth. I watched the thing with Kurt Russell, and there's the dude that they keep going back in time, and I'm like, how did they find somebody that looks just like Kurt Russell? It's his son.
Yes.
Yeah.
I looked it up. Like, I didn't know.
I actually said
Wyatt
when we
Russell,
first watched, I
right?
said
Wyatt.
it's just like Kurt Russell. Was
Anyways.
a young person. And
It
he
look,
was.
he
It was
looks
his
good.
son.
He looks good.
Yeah.
I digress. So they figure this out, and everyone. So there's half of the tribe is like, no, this Timothy is not Space Jesus, and the other half are like, no, he is. And Javier Bardem is the highlight of this film, next to the worm.
Yeah.
I was thinking he was going to die the whole time.
No,
I was
because-
real
His name
scared.
is Stilgar.
Stilgar, he did all the humor. He rode the worm, showed everybody how it's done. He did all the. He had all the great funny lines.
It was good.
He was
Yeah.
just. He carried this show.
Well, okay, well, calm down. I don't know how many great funny lines are in Dune Part
all right,
2.
Basically he meant yelling out Lisan Al Galib like
Yes.
at
I
random
think
times.
he like 3 times his reaction to something was humorous.
But this show is like 3 hours long. It's not meant to be funny. So you
It's like
need
one
you-
every
you-
one every hour.
one every hour. It's like pull out like
And then Denise like, all right, calm down, everybody.
calm down, everybody. But this is too serious. It's serious.
Too much humor.
So he does stuff. Timothy figures things out, and they're all like very supportive of him. And all while it's going on, the bald guys with the alopecia,
Harkonnen.
the Harkonnen,
My people.
yeah, they are
Dude, they were terrifying.
they are
Oh
terrifying.
my God.
They live on a planet with like a black sun.
Yeah.
That's why everything's white.
Black hole sun. Yeah, there was
I was
lots
really
of
confused by like when they got like out of the outside, they became normal colored.
No, they were always white.
What's he doing in the WD-40 is my question.
No, that WD-40 is, it's like they're back a tank.
Lubing his joints.
He's still healing from the poisoning, I think.
Yeah, you get in those tanks. That's where the Vladimir
that wasn't in
Harkonnen-
the book.
but it was in the movies where he
Well,
floats
yeah,
around.
I remember it being in the original movies
He
too, right?
He floats around.
No, it was not in the original movie.
It was the two in Dune.
Was it?
Yeah,
I remember
It's
in the original
disturbing.
Dune, like they unplug him at some point, like
yeah.
juices
and he
all
starts
come
laughing. Ha, 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 ha.
I'm
Yeah,
not exactly sure what like
Why is he? Is
Why
he in
is
an
he-
anti-grav suit?
what-
yeah, because his
what is
joints.
he-
He can't
Little
walk.
backpack things.
Oh,
He's wearing the same thing that the
Poor
guys,
feller.
the
Yeah.
soldiers wear to float
Poor
around.
feller.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he
Like,
actually
he's
needs
a
it to move.
blob.
chomp.
Okay, so let's. I want to do an unnecessary reset. So Dune Part 1, this family gets called, they're part of this whole empire. They get called to this planet, supposedly to take over, ruling it from the Harkonnens. It looks like there's a coup. All the people die of the Atreides, and the Atreides boy and mama Fergie out in the desert,
Fergie,
joining the natives to fight.
Yes.
And in the end of Part 1, they've just basically joined the natives.
They just
Fremen.
They're walking away in the desert.
Part 2 picks right up, and I like the fact that there was very little, but it was very efficient exposition by Princess Irulan.
Yeah.
Is that her name?
Irulan,
yeah. She's just reading off their little...
She's reading.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, my daddy did this. So the Emperor set him up.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of learn why later. But... so then he sets him up, and so then basically this is a revenge story for Paul Atreides.
Sorta, kinda.
Because
at the same time,
it's a super
it's kind of a love story.
Is it?
I wasn't getting love story.
I was getting love there for a while. I really wanted it to be a love
That's kind of a
story.
distraction.
But it's not. I really wanted
I think it was just a plot device.
I wanted it to
moved the
be.
story
No,
forward.
it's okay. So for me, I'm gonna be the reference, the book guy.
Because you're the one that read it.
I have the book and I'm
besides
planning on reading
Jerry,
it.
I read it.
You know Jerry,
Well,
read
But
it.
it's goofy.
Jerry's
And
a nerd.
Shawnee
It's hard.
isn't much in the book either.
No.
But there is a love story there.
Yes.
But it's kind of like,
I love you until I stop breathing.
yeah, he loves her
Or
But
until the
then-
Emperor's daughter shows
until
up.
he drinks the Kool-Aid, and then he becomes Neo in the Matrix
I
and
was
can see
thinking-
all the
Becomes the
lines.
one.
He becomes like
He gets blue
Neo.
pilled and Florence Pugh shows up. It's like, hey, wait a minute. I changed my mind.
That's a perfect.
Like Zendaya's
Yeah.
Florence, man.
He does become like Neo in the Matrix.
So he's like able
Yeah.
to see all these paths that he can take, and
Futures.
Which is a great power. He doesn't necessarily see the future. He sees the potential future.
and he doesn't know exactly which one's going to happen.
But he can
He can
affect
kind of
it.
maneuver it.
He's
yeah.
like, if I shoot nukes at these people.
Which they go into more detail of that in the book. He's like, basically, he can see infinity. He's
He's-
kind of like Doctor Strange in
Yes.
Infinity War.
Yeah,
Correct.
Time stone.
So, okay, so here's the thing. I got the impression that old Rebecca Ferguson didn't buy into this. He's the spaceman messiah.
She was just seeking.
She was just
power.
like, we gotta get revenge, and so she's just playing along. And she's like, okay, I gotta get him to drink the blue juice, and they're all like, oh no, men will die if they drink that. And then he drank it, and he like doesn't sort of kind of dies. He goes into a coma, and then here comes Shandaya, and she
Shawnee Daya.
she cries. And she like wipes her tears and on him, and he wakes up.
it's like
Well,
part of the
dips it in the blue
prophecy.
juice.
Part of the prophecy because her name means
Spring of
Spring
life
of
or something
life.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very moving.
Okay,
you tell me that
question.
ain't love.
Quick question.
They can't even cry over the dead.
question.
She's in there crying for a
What's
man.
your question?
Quick question.
Go ahead.
Do y'all believe he fulfilled prophecy, or did it just all happen to work out?
No, he fulfilled the
I
prophecy.
feel like he fulfilled the prophecy.
He's the man. He survived the blue juice.
Definitely.
My only question is, you think that
prophecy.
she doesn't care about Paul at all, Lady
No.
Jessica? Because if she didn't believe the prophecy, then why would she have him drink that and die?
Yeah, I don't.
All right, you're making a good point.
Well, I think because the blue juice affects you, plus the spice makes you high. The
Wait
whole
a
time.
minute.
So they're severely intoxicated with all sorts of chemicals in their brains.
Do you remember when she drank the juice? He was like, "Yeah, this is a Benny Jesuit thing." Blah 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 blah.
The Benny and the Jets.
Yeah, like she knows how to do this because she's a witch. She's just her family is passed down.
But Benny Gesserit.
You're making a good
Benny and
point.
the Jesuit.
Is that she had him drink it, and so it's like she knew he would survive. So she must have had everybody. Only ones that really thought he was the Messiah guy was Javier, and I guess maybe his mom did kind of.
And the what they kept calling them in the South.
Yeah, the fundamentalists,
Fundamentalists.
the fundies. They were all about it.
So,
Which is where Stilgar's from.
Yeah, Stilgar's like this guy's.
and he's got the accent. I thought that was funny.
This
Kinda how they
guy's-
toss that in there.
Yeah.
No, that's just Javier
Spanish
Bardem,
accent.
who
Again-
cannot fake an accent.
Again, Javier killing it here.
Okay, the first movie I ever saw him in was No Country, Old Men Country,
Country for Old Men.
Oh my gosh.
Grumpy old
Yes.
men living in the country.
No
No,
Coun-
country for
No
old
country
men.
for old
No
men.
country
Yeah.
for grumpy old men.
And of course,
the record choice, I think.
his character is a despicable and weird and a psychotic killer. So I did not like him.
Wow.
I don't know. I liked him. I don't know. Something about him. I read the book.
The
The first movie
So-
I ever saw him in was Skyfall.
Okay, so I was going to say that. So then the second movie I seen him in
That
was
was great.
Skyfall, where he's also, again, just a crazy lunatic.
Not crazy. He's very fashionable.
But then in this movie, and I don't remember if I've seen him in anything else, but I really, basically, my thing is he's a really good actor because I hated him as the bad guy, which you're supposed to do. I mean, he was a despicable character in both those movies, but he's always like affected and has weirdness. But in this movie, he plays this part so very well.
Right. I think he was in that other Denny movie, Mother. Is that a Denny movie?
I don't know.
Yeah,
With,
He's in Mother.
With
Yeah, he was in
Jennifer
Mother.
Yeah.
and Lopez,
Jennifer Lawrence.
Lawrence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Javier
I think
Bardem.
he was the husband that was also crazy.
Javier Bardem's.
He also plays Ricky Ricardo
He
in the
does.
Desi and Lucy movie, which I've never seen.
I'm not seeing it either, but Javier Bardem is a thinking man's Benicio del Toro. He's got the affect. He's got the different things. You always kind of think, you kind of like him. Anyways,
I'm not a fan of Benicio.
I like
I
Benicio.
don't like Benicio
But he's
either.
kinda weird.
He's yeah, all right, yeah. He's
Here's
he's weird. I'm not saying he's not.
You know what? I'm gonna say I don't.
You don't like Stilgar?
No, Stilgar I like. Benicio
You
del
like
Toro.
Oh,
Don't let me sidetrack you.
Okay.
Stay on Dune.
So okay,
Benicio
so
has nothing to do with
We're Dune with that.
who would you say is your favorite character in this movie?
The worm. That Al Shabard. What's the bird?
I cannot
worm's name?
say it. Like I've been trying to
Al
memorize
Shalid?
it.
Al Shalid.
Al Shalib.
Al Shalib. Hey,
Al.
Al Shalib.
Oh, what's
Call him Al the worm.
Al Shalib. Yeah.
So
Played by Sean Bean.
LOL.
no, because it doesn't die.
Well, the little one did.
Oh, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
All right.
So seriously, DJ, who's your favorite character in this show?
Looking through the cast here and trying to remember scenes.
They all do so well.
It's kind of hard because like everyone has.
I
I think
even-
Josh. I think Gurney.
You
I
gotta
didn't
love-
really like Gurney. I was about to say he's my least favorite. I was just about to say that just because
Okay.
he's very one dimensional and we've all made fun of the
But I
name
like a
Gurney.
good one-dimensional guy.
He is good.
and so much going on in this movie. I'm like,
You know where he's
attracted-
at.
I'm attracted to the
But
one-dimensional guy
here's-
that like I know where his.
understand
I take that
he-
back.
Yeah.
I take
Yeah.
that back. He's my second least favorite. He kills my least favorite, which was what's his face.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh
That-
my god!
I was so ready for him.
I
So
was done
he
with him.
kills
Whiny.
Batista in the weakest fight ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like-
Everybody beat up Batista.
Basura.
Everybody beat up Batista.
Sharde,
Even
do you
my
have
man-
a favorite?
Austin Davis.
I was gonna say it's
Austin
hard.
Davis.
Like everyone has like
Why is it
Howard.
Austin
played
Davis?
a part in
Butler?
this movie that I
Yeah, it's
like,
Austin
but
Am I say Davis? Who's Austin Davis? Austin Butler.
Sharde, go ahead.
I'm trying to.
You know
It's like it's
You like
between.
Fade?
I really do like
his
Diggler or Stilgar.
Stilgar.
but Austin.
Sorry,
He's a stickler for
Stickler.
being a
I really
follower.
like him. I'm gonna say I like Zendaya too, even though she doesn't. I'm a fan of Zendaya.
She got gypped.
I really love
She got
Zendaya.
gypped.
I feel like she didn't have a whole lot. I feel
My
like
favorite
she didn't.
character is Jamis.
Nobody
I'm
knows.
just joking.
That doesn't gotta die.
He's the doctor from Star Trek.
Yes,
Jama shows up in a dream where he teaches them. It's like he's a brief dream sequence.
Although
So-
Rebecca Ferguson or
Okay,
you know,
pick
Lady
a character.
Jessica, she.
Pick a character.
This is why you're not on. This is why your podcast failed.
How dare you? I'm not
She's
indecisive.
picking the
I'm
two
just
female characters.
talking about how difficult it is to pick
Although
because
I,
they all have something.
Okay,
It's very
all right.
difficult.
So
I'm kind
just
of a
so
fan
you
of
don't
Paul,
know,
Because
too.
it almost kind of feels like I need to. The part 3 needs to come out and like
you
we
need to
just-
pick a character.
No,
What
I
you
don't.
need to do.
Okay. Okay. You,
I don't
Gabi.
have to pick a character.
Well, she's thinking.
okay.
Who's
I've
your
already
favorite?
said what I thought.
Yeah,
Well, because he's the guy that delivers the 3 humorous lines of the movie. It's Stilgar.
oh,
But-
I'd like to know why you gave me a fit when I said he's funny, and then it's like, what the? He said something funny every hour, and now you're like,
No,
oh, he's
but
the
I-
So
yeah,
DJ
I
yours
like-
was the
I feel like
Gurney.
It was between Gurney and Stilgar. They both were like the straight man. I knew where their allegiances were. They both were with Paul.
loyal.
They both had their different.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gabi. I know you're still going to.
I like the loyalty too.
I saw more range from Stilgar. Like he was goofy. He was like this devout kind of almost too much follower. He was serious. You could tell he cared about people. I like seeing that range. Chalamet
Child.
did a really good job, but he kind of just is like one note, just very dour,
Gabi,
which I
you
know
actually-
that's the character.
He yells
with
sometimes.
movies with
He
Dobbs,
yells.
he never likes
I
the main
like when
character.
he yells.
Really.
I want to see him
I need more
like,
yelling.
Yeah.
shoot finger guns and,
He's not funny.
I know.
You should watch The King.
I have.
Oh, well, then you shouldn't watch the kid because you probably had. But his mom, she did that Emperor Palpatine voice several times. Do it.
Yeah.
But here's why Austin Butler is the dude that everybody talked about. He can show surprise despite the fact that he had no eyebrows. Like they shaved the man bald.
A range of emotions with nothing.
And literally, what I liked is like when you see him, you know he's going to be stabbing everybody. He literally in every scene at random stabs somebody. There's literally like the opening scene is just him going this blade and just stabbing just people around.
Oh, yeah.
He's like the worst.
Like the guy behind him was like complaining about something.
He just stabbed. He just stabbed random people for no reason, which is why I loved him. Plus, his character was very one-dimensional, though. I will say that. But he added a sense of
menace.
Yes,
he had really good menace. But also, I don't think his character is one-dimensional. Like he seemed to be plotting and like showing emotion when things were happening, and just kind of like when I thought his character being a psycho would just be a psycho.
I meant to say monochromatic.
I think
he's definitely monochromatic.
That's true.
All of the Harkonnens are.
I wish they had done a little bit more between him and the girl you said was from James Bond, the last movie, Time to Die.
Sedao.
Like they could have given him a little more character depth in dealing with her, like
Margot Fenring.
But when they start off describing his character as he's a psychopath, it's like, okay.
But she shows up and seduces. So she literally shows up, says, "Put your hand in this box," and then next scene is like, "Okay, we can control him."
That was a double entendre.
By the way, I'm pregnant.
I got this baby.
Yeah. So that the Bene Gesserits are like the whole. They like pull the strings from everything. They've got it all figured out. They've got it.
So, are they good or bad?
That's what I was trying to figure out.
They're
like
just women.
They're not on a side.
Well, they said they didn't have
They
sides.
don't have a side, yeah.
They're just women.
They have a plan.
Women.
Their side
we don't
is
hope
themselves.
we plan.
Or Jerry, what are you trying to say?
They said it. We don't hope.
They're
we
just
plan.
sowing chaos.
They do.
Okay.
As they do.
So we've,
Shut
of course,
up.
But then, the Darth Vader moment. Are you not going to bring up the Darth Vader?
Well, I was going to say we can progress through the movie. There's different factors. We can kind of hit the story, but also your favorite characters. Do you have a favorite moment?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's discuss that after we get through discussing the movie.
Dang, you
So what's
really
the
have
Vader
to ask
movie?
those questions.
What's the Vader moment you're talking about?
Were you in the bathroom for that?
Maybe. Did it
He was
involve
only
a worm?
He was
you
only in the
talking
bathroom for the
about-
worm
No,
juicing.
I'm talking about that
When-
he's related to the Harkonnens.
When they drained the lizard.
No.
Or the
Talking
worm,
about
sorry. When they drained the worm.
Are you talking
While
about
they
when
drain
they
the
were in
worm.
that
While
they
they
were all
drain the
talking
worm.
and he told him to silence? He did the dark.
No. He drinks the blue juice and he could see everything in the past. And
Oh,
he's
that
like,
one.
his mom is the daughter of Vladimir Harkonnen,
Oh.
and it's like that's my grandpa.
Who is, and he is told this by his unborn sister, who is an adult.
Yes,
That's
because he's
looking
tripping. That blue Kool-Aid. That's
He's
trippy
told that he's the
chiz.
grandson of the Harkonnen. His mother is the daughter of Vladimir by his unborn sister,
In the
who is an
future.
adult.
yeah.
Pre-Furiosa.
and the cousin of Fade. Yeah, okay. Anyway.
It's pretty.
You know why? Time is a flat circle.
Yeah, man.
All right.
How do you spell Shyamalan's name?
CHAMLET. Oh, sorry. There's a vowel in the middle there somewhere.
Yeah, he's got some weird names.
So he's already getting visions due to the spice. Then he drinks the blue juice, and the visions really kick in.
He's like full time.
Yeah,
he can see
he's
forwards
riding,
and backwards in
he's
time.
riding worms. I'd like to think
He's a worm rider. So what did you think about him? The worm riding scene
that
where
was
he rides.
that
it?
was
That was
amazing.
amazing.
I was
Yeah.
wondering how they were going to pull that off.
How do you feel about the effects in the movie?
Yeah,
They were
I mean, I'm
great.
going to tell you, this whole movie
affected me.
was amazing.
I think at one point I wasn't like breathing because I was just so intense. Like I was so intense. Like I was going, and then like
I mean, I'll
I'm
save
like,
my
okay,
rating and
wait,
everything for the end, but
I'll say something about the design of the scenes that I think he did very well on. So it kind of had that 80s feel a little bit where they're focusing in on everybody's face up close and where they're talking. It's like this person, just look at this person, focus in on what they're saying. And that's a natural thing. If you frame someone's entire face on the screen, your eyes are drawn to it. The same thing does whenever people are talking, he zooms in on their face, but then every other shot is a landscape. I want you to be impressed by what you're seeing. This spaceship or this thing going through. But the use of sound in this film, is absolutely amazing. There are fight scenes where there's no real sound. It's very quiet. He doesn't do your typical thing that you see in a lot of action movies where there's just this loud sound stuff in the background. Yeah. It's like, be quiet and watch this. And then it builds anticipation. Every sound, from the worms, from the guns, from the swords, from all the little machinery, everything they do, this was spot on amazing. It is added to the overall feel of the film.
There's one sound, and I understand why they use it. It's very effective in what it does. No, that one as well.
Is it when the worms about to come?
That's like the Christopher Nolan Inception wall. Like anytime there's like, okay, big reveal type moment. Yes.
Which one, Deej?
When they're fighting and those weird xenomorph looking things are like surrounding them in the Colosseum fight with Ray Father, and they do that. It's like that clicking sound. Well, that is so, and I get it because it is weird and it's supposed to make you uncomfortable and alien.
Let's alien ASMR.
Like, is there not any other alien sound we can find?
That's kind of hard to come up with. I like the sound, the music, they like reached down and got some Vangelis stuff going on, like some Blade Runner.
I'm going to tell you, I don't remember a single piece of music. Because I feel like it was just it was part of the movie.
They blended it in.
That's
what I'm saying. But like it all seemed like
they nailed
fluid.
Yes,
it was. I wasn't like distracted by I like this music. It was just part of it.
Yeah, it's great.
Is there a part you didn't like about this movie?
No,
well, guys, all the thinking on that one.
I think overall if it was up to me, if I had one complaint, I was anticipating the last scene, the last battle. It felt very much like they sacrificed the big fight scene at the end and focused more on the Austin Butler and all that other fighting afterwards. That like the big battle there was not that epic. It was neat seeing the worms and all this mess go on. If it was one complaint, stretch the movie out another 5 minutes and show me something more. So show me more of that. And I'll never forgive him for Tim Blake Nelson's scenes being cut.
Yeah. I mean, I really had no problems with any of the movie.
That's my one complaint.
I didn't really think about that until you said that.
I'm stretching it.
It doesn't bother me because I feel like they focused where they needed to on the story. Yes. The battle isn't really story.
But I mean, we're building up to to me, that's the climax. I mean, I understand he's fighting the guy at the end.
Yeah, but they had no chance.
But they're building up this worm thing. They're building up all the fundamentalists that can fight down south. And they just briefly show it.
Yeah. It's very brief.
I mean, because there wasn't a fight, really. It was just kind of they came in and massacred everybody.
I know, but I want them to like just wreck house with them worms.
I kind of like that it wasn't too much.
Quickly.
Traffic.
That's why it happened very quickly.
Yeah. The what, Sharde?
Like, I like that it wasn't too much traffic.
The worm traffic.
Like, I understood everything. Like, sometimes I get confused when I'm watching movies that has a lot going on. Like, and this did have a lot going on, but he made it where I understood it. Like, who was killing who and who about to take over who.
Yes, I appreciated the focus, like I was saying.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
It was where it needed to be. It wasn't like a freaking...
shaky cam.
It wasn't a Christopher Nolan. It wasn't, Tenet.
Yeah.
No, Tenet, I was straight up confused. I didn't know what was going on.
If you have no idea about the book or anything else, you can follow along very easily.
Mm-hmm. That is a feat of itself.
Yes.
That people that have no idea about what Dune is or anything about it have been able to follow this and love the movies because
that's true.
And the sandworms, they don't go in a serpentine when they're under the sand. They go in a straight line, which means that they must suck sand in. The physics of that.
And fart it out.
And propel themselves. That's how they...
Like a jet ski.
Yes. That's how they because they don't serpentine. They suck the sand in and they go that way. That has to be how they... And that whole... You have to sea walk or whatever across the dunes so you don't make noise. I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know why that brings me joy to see these
it's not so you don't make noises so that it's not rhythmic.
It's the natural... sound of the sand
no
shifting.
Worm would ever catch me across. I am so white. I have no rhythm. Oh, they would never. They would never detect me.
I thought it was kind of interesting how they suck the waters out of the bodies.
That was nasty.
I thought that was kind of interesting.
That was
taking their fluids.
I mean, that was kind of cool.
And then they're like, Harvey is like, yeah, we don't drink this. Like, you protest too much there. It's like, no, we use this for coolant.
Don't worry. This goes into a pool.
Yeah.
And we don't touch it.
We don't touch it. We're not cannibalizing other people's.
I'm glad you said that.
They're in there with little straws.
I wasn't completely sure if he was saying
just sticking to people like a juice box.
They're in there screwing that thing.
Yeah. Even Shandaya, she's over there sucking this stuff out of this guy. They're like, don't worry, we'll use this. Anybody who dies, they dump it into the pool, and you're there.
Sharde, what were you saying?
What were you saying?
I was unsure when he was saying this is full of chemicals or something, but we still
because the Harkonnen are
use
nasty.
it. I wasn't sure what he was saying, so they weren't drinking it.
No,
I needed that clarified.
Well, they said they weren't.
They could use one of them survival
the
straws.
The Harkonnens all have alopecia and various other diseases from their home.
And WD-40, because they bathe in it.
Okay, Harlequins or Harlequins?
Harlequins.
Neither one of those.
Okay, either way.
Harkonnen.
The Harkonnens.
Harkonnen.
They were absolutely disgusting. Like, I couldn't really look at them. They were grossing me out bad.
Do you not like bald people?
No, it wasn't that. It's their teeth. And
bald
they
people
were
are two of her favorite people.
And Austin was drooling at one point. It was
half the
grossing me
people
out.
in this room, they are bald.
No, I'm not talking about the baldness. I'm just talking about just everything about them.
I was going to say.
The black teeth.
Ew, and like
this movie
drooling.
it's not. It is pleasant visually due to the great cinematography, but they do a very good job in making, the Harkonnens a gross, detestable,
disgusting.
I mean, the guy's licking the knife blade, the other guy's bathing in WD-40, they're sweaty, and he punches the Dave Bautista, and he's like got stuff drooling out of his mouth and kisses the boot. It's gross.
And if you've watched the original, the Harkonnen are crazy. And they did a great job.
I mean, they put Sting in that.
They put Sting in it. And
underwear.
Yes.
I mean, that was crazy.
Sting fought this guy in his underwear.
Yeah.
It's not a pleasant aesthetic with the Harkonnens, which obviously
it worked for what they did. I just know, like, dang.
So, I mean, are they supposed to be like the Germans? I mean,
wow, God.
The Germans.
Dang.
Wow. Space Germans.
Space Germans.
No.
I mean, they're all extremely white.
No.
They were marching off.
No. Just because they march and they're bald.
The Wormans.
No. You did that to make that joke.
No.
You did that to make that joke. Yes, you did.
But actually, they weren't the Wormans. They were anti-Wormen. They were war men, but they weren't Wormen. They should have just got some dewormer and took that up there.
I'm just letting you get it down. Go ahead. We're
all just waiting.
Do it.
Just letting you go, guys.
Just do it.
How'd you kill that worm? Well, I got a kitty cat, and I used this medicine on him the other day. Don't say we didn't worm you. I hadn't said that one yet.
Are you done?
Come on, get it out.
Get out. You're almost there.
And I'm going to say Paul Atreides wormed his way into the Emperor's seat.
There's something else.
I think that might be
That's not it.
He's warming the seat for him.
Keep it worm.
Yeah,
worm. Yeah.
I can't come up with those like that. Like, I'm like, my brain's
I want
totally
to know
empty.
how each one of those worms were already broken. They knew how to steer them. Have they been riding those worms so much that the worms just know?
Yeah, they worship them.
So they worship these worms.
Wormship.
And they jump on the back. You hook them, and you just kind of just
hookworms.
Hookworms. Exactly.
Well,
so the worms just
dang it, I'm
respond
really
to this.
trying to
I
think
think
of
they
one.
just respond to the tug.
Like 50-ton worm. It's like, I got to turn left.
And as long
If
as
they ride
they're
them in a circle, is it a ringworm?
They're the Uber. They're the Uber of the dunes.
and as long as they're, I guess, as long as they got the hooks in them, they stay above ground.
Yeah, because they go
Because I
underneath.
noticed with the hook, like, open up their senses
Yeah, that was like,
or something.
God, you're
whatever.
pulling my hair, dude.
Little worm
Go up.
hairs.
Just got them by the nostrils.
Yeah.
I guess, it's like reins on a horse.
Right.
That's what I was. Yeah.
I kind of feel like I have like a sort of, like, I don't know if that Jerry's the nurse. PETA, is it Pika? Like when you're like,
where you're craving
you kinda
iron.
crave sand.
You do, and you are iron deficient. We just discovered.
I was like, this sand looks so great. And I'm like, oh my God.
You were talking about how you see sand and
It like looks like it like will taste good.
That's
I don't
exactly
know.
what happened to Austin Butler. He was drooling. Maybe you're part Harkonnen.
Ew, no. Gross.
sand surfers.
Sand
That's what they were on the worms. They're sand surfing on the worm.
Right. Which was amazing. That scene.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a great scene.
It was good. It was good. It's a good.
The
it's a
whole
good
show was crazy though. Like if
there is a lot going.
If you go to describe what just happened, as I have partially done, it sounds insane.
And you've only described like
a little bit of
the
it.
movie.
I can't even begin.
And I'm still processing.
Yes, it's still one of those things that it's absolutely.
What do we think about Christopher Walken?
I love the fact that Christopher Walken was the emperor.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get to really be Christopher Walken till the very, very last, where he talks briefly. Where it's like, "What are y'all doing,
Baron?
man?
My Deej.
Deej.
What's with the worms? Where's Paul Atreides?" And it does. There's a brief moment where you see it, where you hear him for just a moment, and then it's like, okay, we got to cut this. Gotta go on.
Take my daughter's hand. Maybe you'll rule Dune. I'll give you Arrakis.
That's a good one.
That's a good
That's
one.
a good one. And Batista was the worst character.
Yeah, pretty lame.
I remember when we talked about the first part 1 of Dune, I said I didn't like him because it felt like his character was just there. He didn't really do much.
He kind of seemed cowardly to me.
Yeah.
Like his character
for
wasn't.
sure.
Like, I'm sure that's how he was supposed to be, but
He was inept.
He was very inept.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's not Batista, because I think he's a good actor, at least in
Just his
Blade Runner
character.
2049. I like.
Yeah,
He's
he
pretty-
did good in that.
I don't know if it.
You don't.
I mean, he does.
You don't
know,
think he did good in Guardians
he
of the
does good in
Galaxy?
Guardians,
Drax
but-
is like a perfect character made for
Yes,
him.
that's yeah. But in comparison to like Austin Butler, who just shows up and then it's like wrecks Arrakis just by bombing it.
just bomb stuff.
He's like, why didn't you think of this? Like,
Okay.
just bomb it. Like, why did you just bomb them? Well, they're in the sand. We can't find. No, just bomb them, dude. And that's what they did.
Just bomb every rock. That's where
and
they
he's
could
like,
be.
yeah, tell everybody we just bombed. It's sand. It's how can you not find
There's
them?
sand and then there's rocks.
Just bomb all the sand.
They're not in the sand.
They're probably in the rocks. It's like it really showed how inept he is. And that scene where that little carrier thing is just bombing, that was great.
Yeah.
Like the sound of that, and it's like, why didn't you think of
I
that?
loved like the aerial, like the gun that was like,
Yes,
like a burst
yes.
fire. Oh, it was cool.
Yeah, they're out there.
And what is
AC.
that, like some sort of rail gun the Fremen had?
Yeah, there's like blowing lasers through these giant machines.
They're blowing up all the oil
the
refineries.
machines. Like, why didn't they just like take one of those guns when like all the troops were just lined up and just like cut them all in
You
half?
can't do that. It
Okay,
breaks
so
the
I was
lore.
just thinking about the fight scene again
It'd be too
with
easy.
Austin and Timothy. So I tell you what I like about Austin's character.
his abs.
His
well,
body.
I wasn't thinking that, but I like how he wasn't like fighting with emotion. Like he did really act as a psycho. Like he wasn't fighting emotionally, but like almost like a loyal fighter.
You can't tell with his no eyebrow.
Just for the thrill of
Like
it.
like he was fighting and he was like, good fight, and died.
yeah.
Like I like that.
Spoiler
Yeah,
alert.
remember she said he had honor.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
did say that. Like he was psycho, but had honor, and I like that.
He makes up for his eyebrows in honor.
Mhm.
Because I mean, he could have just like,
He didn't fight.
if you're a true psycho, I don't know how psychopaths
That's what I was saying.
work.
He didn't
like
have
he just
revenge
stood back
fight.
and watched.
He could have like tried to
Things
kill
happen.
Chani or
yeah,
something.
he
Yeah.
was just chilling. I like that.
Like
Just
the whole
chilling.
thing
So,
in
okay,
the,
let me
in the, like,
fight.
the big ship when he first came in, Paul, and he just stood back and watched, and like he watched him kill his uncle, and he's just like,
Grandpa.
That's why I was like,
the best
he
thing.
said, "Grandfather, stab in the neck." He said, "You'll die like an animal."
yes.
Yeah, it's pretty cold.
So I think that's what I liked about his character.
I am conflicted. Okay, I'll put this out there so everybody can tell me how wrong I am, because I'm
Go for it,
honestly
Jerry.
this is
Go.
a deficit I have.
It's a safe space.
So Chani gets upset as soon as she realizes he is the Messiah. I want to know what happened there. She's all mad at him before he decides he's going to go with the Emperor's daughter. But she's already mad. It's like, oh, you drank the blue stuff and now you think you're this. And he's like, oh, everybody follow me.
Consider her emotions. Like,
I know,
she
but
loves
he's
this
like
man.
he's leading a troop. He's trying to save her planet. He's going to save her planet, and she's mad at him because what?
I think it's because
He
he
just-
told her that if he did that, it would start a war, and everybody would die.
Oh
And also, she didn't want him to drink the blue thing because she didn't believe in it, and that she knew it would kill him,
They're a
which it pretty much did.
they're a religiously mixed household.
Yes.
That's exactly.
Oh, yeah, there you
There you
go.
go. I was trying to think of a thing. Yes, he
broken.
One's an unbeliever.
one's an unbeliever,
And one's the
the
Messiah.
one's the Messiah. Well, that's a rough thing to.
Well, not
Just when you think you got everything lined out,
It was-
honey, I'm telling you, I can walk on wide
And
worms.
and
No.
Stilgar's like, he did this, 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 and this. And she's like, Yeah, but
He came back from the dead, honey.
kind of coincidental.
He come back from the dead. I don't believe it. You cried on him, and he'd come back.
You put your tears in his mouth.
It was very unpredictable because, like, I was thinking he was gonna like go to. I mean, not knowing anything about the book, I was thinking they were gonna be together.
I did too.
Do you remember in his vision
twist.
of the future in the first movie, she stabs him?
Yeah. She's like, I ain't having your cheating self.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do remember.
They
that.
come together. They kiss, and then she stabs him.
That's right. I do remember that.
I'm waiting to see that in the future.
Crazy women.
So does anyone?
They were frenemies.
That's what you do for love.
Frenemies.
Frenemies.
Frenemies. That's what they were. Frenemies.
Frenemies.
What do you call that when you're your friend and your enemy?
Frenemy.
That's what I was trying to go
But you
for.
said
frenemies.
Frenemies.
It works. It works.
Okay, I think we're moving on.
Sorry.
So,
That's Jared.
Does anyone know? Y'all reference it, so I think y'all did because I've only read the first book. Do you know any? Like, what does it go?
He turns into a worm.
Not him, his son, right?
Somebody turns into a worm.
His son is part worm.
Wait.
His son turns into a half worm.
Wait, who?
They turn into the worm. Wait a second. I'm sorry.
And becomes the
son?
the God Emperor.
And he's part
Dune.
worm. Like, but can he
is
talk?
a worm.
Did y'all? There probably was a movie called Children of Dune.
Yes, it is.
on
I
Netflix.
saw the
and it had
book title.
it had young X-Men guy.
Yeah, Professor X, young Professor X.
Oh, Picard.
No, young one.
Oh, McAvoy.
Yes, James McAvoy was, I guess, the son of Paul. Right?
So I have not
Weird.
seen the original. Dune.
I have not either.
Well, it was a mini series, and it was renowned for being horrible.
So Jerry's seen it, and he.
Well,
He
his
said he was-
nostalgia's kicking in.
I was like,
It's
I feel
David
like
Lynch,
he's
right?
like liking
Yeah.
it, or
Yeah.
like, says it's
It's like right before he made Twin Peaks, he made Dune.
David Lynch is known for making weird things that only some people like.
Indeed.
Yeah, in Dune Messiah, Paul's the emperor and he jihads everybody, like billions of people across space.
So that his vision comes true.
Right.
So does he make Arrakis a paradise?
I think so. He dies. He just dies. He just
Chauncey kills him. He snaps him.
And then somebody turns into a worm.
His son.
His son. You're right. His son turns into a worm.
Never read the books.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was that Wikipedia?
I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
All I
because
know
I
is
remember.
I retain random knowledge.
I remember trying to read through the book and going, this is complicated. And then there was some guy that did a deep analysis on the books.
Mm.
And so I'm like listening to his podcast or his YouTube videos, both about them. And I'm like, and then finally gets to the end. It's like, yeah, it gets crazy. It's like people start doing weird stuff.
His son, what was his son's name? It was also something very boring.
It's like, I don't know.
Joe.
It's
Yeah,
like
right.
something like
Yeah, yeah,
that.
it's-
It's later works in for, Leto.
I want to name my son Leto, by the way.
Jared. But I can only think of Jared.
No.
Just the first
Jared
name.
And his middle name will be Atreides
So why does everyone hate Jared Leto?
Because
because he's a freak.
Like, what do you
He's
mean?
not
I don't understand. I
talented.
don't know him. Like, I just know.
He's a possible pedophile.
Oh,
Who is?
I didn't know this.
That's one big reason.
I know he was from the band, and that's about it.
Allegedly.
And
Allegedly.
Then the movie he was in.
Allegedly, he's
Leto
a creep.
2.
Okay, that's why everybody hates him. Okay.
It's just Leto the second, I think.
What?
Is the boy's name.
Really?
I think so.
Okay.
And then there's twins. There's a girl named Gamana or something like that.
Did you guys get like chill bumps at any moment, like goosebumps?
Yes.
Like,
No.
like at what point?
Okay, that's a good thing. As I was watching this movie, I really, really, really like this movie. But at no point it didn't.
You didn't feel powerful.
I didn't feel like this emotional connection to it, and like slightly when they got brought in desert power at the very end, brought on the worm attack. I was like, yeah.
It's like
but it was so brief and so like
But
it didn't. It
Did
didn't
you
get
not
me.
get?
it's like Ender's Game when they all come in.
But that scene where he's first riding the worm, that was
a good one.
that didn't
Yeah.
get you.
That was a good
That was
one.
awesome.
I don't know. This one is, to me, this was like all spectacle. It was so very well done, very well acted, but it didn't really connect with me.
I think it doesn't connect because most of the characters are not. I don't want to say they're not likable. They're not relatable.
Yeah.
So it's not. It's so like most big sagas. It's like you've got this hometown farm boy who becomes a Jedi. You got Luke, and so it's like you can have some sense of relationship with this. You understand what's going on. Where this is kids of Duke, and it's this and it's that, and everything that's going on is something that you can't really relate to.
So I can't relate to anybody in the year 10,000.
Well, I was going to say he does a good job, and that may be lending to your point. Is that everything is very alien?
Yes,
like all the ships,
but there's no aliens in it.
The worm?
That's not an alien.
It's a worm.
Well, it's not a xenomorph, but it's an alien.
That's
for us on Earth.
Is it a desert alien?
Well, then technically they're all aliens.
That's
true. Because they're not on Earth. Because Earth doesn't exist in this universe.
That's true.
I love this universe.
There's that weird spider thing in the first movie.
Yeah, that was the.
What was that?
What was that spider thing?
It was like only for a moment. It was like eating out of a bowl, and
yeah,
the lady
that?
sent it out.
That was
some Harkonnen thing.
That was a Harkonnen
also
pet.
Another creepy thing.
Another arachnid.
So that's what I'm saying.
Were the things in the arena? Were those aliens? They were making the weird clicking sounds.
I don't know.
So the guy that he was his like doctor dude, I thought he died for some reason in part 1. I thought they killed him.
He did.
They broke his neck.
Well, I thought that was him in the
they
arena
did.
with Austin.
That was not him in the arena.
That wasn't
the
him?
doctor. No, the doctor. What's his
what doctor
face?
are you talking about?
From the first one who betrayed everybody, he died.
No, yeah, he gets his head cut off.
Yeah, he's dead.
Well, who was in the arena?
That was not him.
A clone?
No, it was not him.
That was literally just random
a different
Atreides
person.
soldiers.
Of the same ethnicity, Gabi.
Dude,
my
I thought
bad.
no, Gabi, I'm with you.
bad.
I thought that was the doctor.
My bad.
No, I'm going to shame both of you.
Apparently, I'm.
This is why y'all's podcast doesn't exist
No,
anymore.
you can't do that. Do not
sorry.
do not do that.
Yeah, my bad.
But me and Gabi,
Wow.
So then,
I
why
thought it
was he
just
not?
me.
Why was he not drugged?
Because it was told. He's like, I didn't drug him.
It was a surprise.
Give him a
for
challenge.
That was his gift.
All the
you know?
drug guys were
See
too
what he
easy.
could get.
literally said it.
Yeah, I know.
You call yourself I can't believe you, Pete.
Okay. Yeah.
Can't believe you, Pete.
Wow. I
Believe you
feel
people.
Really bad.
Gabi's the one that asked this.
You
you
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, they mentioned the whole drugging thing like 4 times. I feel like
multiple times.
I was really glad that he didn't.
he
get
said no
drugged.
drugs
It
for
really-
you, and then he went out there and they're like, he's not drugged.
They said
Why
it
don't they stop
multiple
the fight?
times.
Yeah,
He's like,
I
it's
know
a
that.
surprise for him
Thank you for backing me up, God.
Kind of show him what
Thank
he
you for backing
can
me up,
give.
DJ.
You know what he can.
because he wanted
Fight.
it to be a surprise, a birthday gift for him, but also he didn't care.
Yeah, that's the
If he
greatest
died.
gift you can give somebody is allow them to fight somebody undrugged. Have you ever fought a drug
Haven't
person?
you ever wanted to fight a sober person?
Yeah. It's hard. Gabi?
It's not as easy to fight drugs.
Yeah, it's easy to fight. You're out in the corner knocking crackheads off the curb. Hey, take that.
So, yeah, this movie is very alien, so I think it is kind of weird to connect to.
It's very alien.
like it.
Anyway,
I like his transition from that knocking crackheads off the curb. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. All right.
I would agree with that though. I did not have an emotional connection.
I didn't really care deeply about any of the characters. I mean, I liked Chani, I liked Stilgar. You understand Paul. You like Gurney Halleck just because it's Josh Brolin.
But is this story about people or is it about a broad?
It's like a huge epic scale
thing.
type,
Yeah.
religion and enslavement and
So
just all that type of
What's
stuff.
the overall theme of this movie? Because every movie has
Hope.
That's a good one.
Hope for sure. Because they're always talking about paradise, like living in happy
It's literally Space Jesus
space Jesus. Yeah,
trying to get to paradise.
Desert/space Jesus.
Well, but it's hope versus not blind hope, like just blindly following somebody. Like that's Chauncey's point of Chauncey.
What was Chauncey?
It's Chani.
Chani.
Chauncey's like,
Remember because you thought it was Johnny?
Oh yeah.
Johnny.
so they're
Sorry.
trying to let you know, her and the other girl that died, unfortunately. They're like
Yeah, why
the
was she-
non-believers.
Why was she there?
She stayed behind.
Why?
She's a
Yeah,
spy. And so that Austin Butler could fry somebody.
Could light her on fire.
That was pretty rough too.
Just to immolate her. Yeah.
Immolation.
She was
No
a spy
breathing.
for
Thank you, Papa
Fremen,
Roach.
right?
Yeah, she wasn't a spy for the Hark.
She's
Okay,
a Friedman
she's-
now.
Oh god.
All right.
She was a fry for the Fremen.
R.I.P.
The Fremen fry.
R.I.P. French fries. R.I.P. Anyways,
Anyway.
what was the overall theme? You said hope. I like that. That's a good thing. I like hope.
It's very
But I don't hope I plan. That was my favorite line in there. Because the Benny Jesuit lady, the
Mhm.
space
Benny
nuns.
She's like the
the space nuns. the space nuns that are pulling those strings. There's something very interesting about this whole thing. Everything in the universe. Here's what
behind every great man stands a woman.
Yes,
and
it's
a very tall woman.
So can I just point out that like it's all women that are pulling the strings. That none of them get married to these people. They do get married, but they really don't.
They just go seduce them.
They
and
just
have
go
babies.
seduce them and have babies,
babies,
and they're like, we can't. No,
They're like sirens. You
yes,
know?
they're like these people are getting too strong. We need to have a secure an air here, and they
They're
have
raping people.
They have it
Basically,
planned out.
they were basically doing that.
There's some stuff going on.
Seducing.
Austin Butler got seduced. He's like, what happened? Why are you following me, lady?
Yeah,
Did she use the voice on him?
She used the voice on him. And
They're
that's
using
not
the voice.
consent.
And that's not
Yeah,
consent.
that's true.
And
There's
that's
a bunch of rapist women out there.
And then they're like, they have like
Behind
their
the
own
scenes.
subculture where like they have their own, this is Mother so-and-so, this is the Mother tree. It's like
Mother Teresa.
yeah, it's like literally, it's like, all right, this one died, so you're going to be on The View now, and you're going to decide what's going on across the universe. That's what's happening. And it's all, and that's, anyways, I think that's a very interesting.
So is the big
Like space
big
nuns.
Jesuit lady? Is that the mother of Florence?
I think so.
Wait, what?
No, she's
It was
the
just
advisor
like
to the.
I know, but
I don't know who the
it was
mother
the same
of
with
Florence
Lady
is.
Jessica. That wasn't the wife of Leto.
That's true.
I don't think they. Oh wait. I see what you're saying. Was she with the emperor?
Right, and is Florence her daughter?
They did not say that in the movie.
Mm.
But
I
I'm like,
wasn't
but I'm like,
getting
was it
that.
implied though?
I didn't get that.
No.
But I don't get lots of things.
Yeah,
It seems like this entire universe is one big matriarchy.
It is. It is. I mean, they're the one.
I don't feel like I had to have an
Women
emotional
rule the world,
connection
as
to the
Beyonce
movie.
And all the single ladies.
all the single ladies. Be
But I did
out here
feel
having babies.
very goosebumpy, but not
Can I
like
say something
emotional.
crazy?
You have. But
About
boy,
to
You
say,
have the floor.
why are you
thoughts.
asking now?
Go.
why are you even?
I like part one better.
Okay.
You are
I was
out of
gonna
your
ask
mind.
this. I was.
Out of your fracking mind, man.
I will have to say
You're out of your mind.
you're insane.
You're right. That was crazy.
That was in.
I dare you.
Maybe you should
I
edit
dare
that
you
out.
to watch the first part again.
We
just
already,
did.
me and Gobby watched it last week.
Day, and I was like,
You don't even remember this show that we watched an hour ago.
we just watched.
But-
Me and Sharde watched it like
Yeah.
last week,
We just watched
You
it.
don't
like,
remember.
and I was like,
Wednesday.
man, that was
I will
a really
say,
good
Dune
movie.
Part
No, it was Monday.
1, I
Dune?
felt a more
And you know why?
emotional
You know
connection.
why? You know why?
Emotional.
Duke Leto.
Yeah.
Dude,
I love that guy.
You know,
Even
him and
though
his dad.
he kind of
the
went out quick
connection.
and fast.
Yeah.
He goes, spits in that guy's face.
No,
That's-
I will
that was
say
my point,
I
though.
felt the emotional. I
no, go
felt
ahead.
the emotional connection in Part 1, but I did really love Part 2, like
And
because there was so much more.
and I know this one had the sound and everything was
had
perfect.
bagpipes.
But in the first one, I specifically remember the sound editing and like,
bagpipes.
just the music and the explosions and the.
Did I mention the space bagpipes? The Atreides
It's
themes
always
from the
bagpipes.
first one. I love bagpipes, as I am Irish.
I knew
I do
Jerry
love a
was
good
going to say
bagpipe.
that with his
I
red
love-
I
hair.
thought bagpipes were Scottish.
Yeah, they are. I was completely.
close enough.
I'm
Isn't it all
culturally
the same?
appropriating that. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's all that thing. It's all graceful.
I enjoyed
Amazingly
part one a little bit
graceful.
more.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I didn't have an emotional connection with 2.
And also Duncan,
Although-
Idaho. Just saying.
I didn't like Duncan Idaho.
My boy.
My boy! My boy!
I mean,
Jason
what?
Momoa.
I like Jason
I love
Momoa
that
too,
guy.
but like I didn't really.
He just
He's
like
okay.
has this like carefree but caring, passionate spirit
The
to the show.
the space surfer.
Space surfer. Space surfer.
Yeah.
He should have been the one to ride the worms. He would have been like, didn't Cowabunga.
That's right.
Well, he'll come back in the next
Hang
one.
10.
Spoiler.
He could hang his 10 toes over the edge of the worm, hanging 10.
But then the worm teeth would get you.
Now, those teeth are like just hairs.
Those are phalanges.
Their teeth, because their swords are made.
Oh, that's right. They stab you with
The Chris
worm
knife.
swords.
But it could
That's
be
right.
hard hair, much like
Oh
a
yeah, the
rhino's
knife.
horn.
Chris knife?
That's a good point.
a Chrysler,
Yes,
a Chris
knife.
Chris
Yeah,
knife.
Chris
that
knife.
was a
They're
gift.
they're riding a Chrysler.
Yes, sorry.
Sorry, dude.
Felt an emotional connection with the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I got kind of teary-eyed in the first one.
Yes,
Not because of Duke, but I did like the Duke, and I did
Harkonnen.
his death and everything was all emotional, and
Mhm.
that felt nice. Not nice, but you
I
know,
know what you mean.
like I had an emotion. I felt emotions. It was a cool death.
I love death.
Of all the ways he could have died, he took out a whole room of people.
Which is the preferred way. Which is the preferred way to do it.
Which is the preferred way to do it when you're surrounded by enemies.
Yes.
If you're naked, surrounded by enemies,
But I don't know why, but a random point in the movie, which I didn't feel the first time I watched it, but the second time,
This one or the first one?
the first one. I haven't watched the second one twice, just the first one.
Obviously.
Oh, shit.
I don't know why y'all's podcast bombed. It's like,
Jerry, would you stop trashing
did not bomb.
DN?
It
What the
didn't
heck?
bomb. We just got busy. We have lives.
I wish
Jerry.
you'd bring it back.
People loved us.
I know. I listened. I was your biggest fan.
Oh,
Oh Lord. Anyway,
ahead.
Second
a
biggest.
random moment when Paul and Lady Jessica were in their little tent out in the middle of the desert, and she was trying to console him about something, and he was yelling at her about her making him a freak.
Yes.
I don't know why, but man, Rebecca Ferguson,
Rebecca Ferguson.
Fergie.
man, she
She's
made
incredible.
me feel something whenever
Yes.
he shouted at her,
Mm.
and the way she
She
like,
recoiled.
Yes.
and then came back and hugged him. Like I started tearing up. I don't know why.
See?
I had
this one?
nothing like that in the second.
no,
movie.
Dune 1 was definitely more emotional.
but
And that's probably why I like it.
yes.
But then part 2 was more
Mark
batty.
2 was I'm not, don't get me wrong. This one is superior in
every other way.
every other aspect.
Yes.
The scale, what's going on, bringing the story to a conclusion. You got all this stuff. Then you have the simple fact, we haven't even touched on this, that all the other empires of this universe are like coming to Arrakis to say, hey, we don't acknowledge Paul Atreides as our emperor.
Duh.
And the movie just ends. So basically, Paul's like, okay, so
Do you just watched the first one, right?
Mhm.
Do you know how it ends?
It ends with them in
It
the
just
desert.
ends. Yeah, it all just
Yeah.
ends. Yeah, every one of them just does that.
Yeah.
They just go, wow, they're in.
But
They're
when they
walking
were-
out in the desert.
But when they were making this movie, it was implied that it was just going to be Dune the book, part 1 and part 2. That's it.
Ooh.
But obviously,
People
Yeah.
got creative.
Because he knows he wants to leave it open.
They left it wide open
Yeah.
because there was no closure for any character.
no.
And I feel like
Johnny
all
went
the-
off in the desert.
Road to war.
Paul never seen him again.
Mm-mm.
You know,
Gurney, he got his kill.
Gurney got his kill. His story kind of is.
Gurney.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Paul kind of killed Harkonnen, but he didn't kill the Emperor.
That's what I was thinking. Like, that was his revenge. Like, that's
out
when
of
he-
here.
I'm walking here.
He
Go
said,
ahead.
"I'm Christopher Walken."
Well, I was
I'm
just going to
walking
say, like, overall, I feel like with the actors and actresses, I felt like they really worked hard and they were dedicated and they really got into character in this movie.
Yeah,
Like,
Austin shaved his
I
eyebrows.
really felt this
Shit, his
movie.
eyebrows
Like,
and
they
his
were
hair.
they were
Hair.
passionate.
Have you seen his Austin's hair?
Dude, yeah.
Do you think that they do that thing where they make you bald or they actually shave his head?
I think they shaved his head because his head wasn't big.
That was really weird.
He didn't have that weird, slightly
would not
larger than
let
average head.
his-
when he
his-
was like,
And today,
If he did
they
shave his head, that's amazing
That
because he
makes
was
me
like
sad.
dedicated to
they
this
can
movie.
AI your hair out of the movie.
That
I
would
mean-
make
With
me
AI,
also,
you can-
hair grows
Brett-
back extremely
Millie Bobby
quick.
Brown shaved her head for Stranger Things season 1.
Yeah,
I mean, I just cut my hair like
that's before
a few
AI
days
though.
ago,
Mm.
and it's already.
Wow.
I mean, it goes back quick.
I don't know.
It's just hair.
It's just hair. Hair grows back.
I would shave my head for
Sometimes.
a few
For some
million
people.
dollars.
Sorry, guys.
An Austin date.
You're paying me $10 million. I'm going to shave my head.
I'll do whatever you
How
want
much?
for $10 million.
How much did he get paid? Hang on.
Dude, I would
my
shave
eyebrows would grow back.
I will
like,
shave.
in a
I
month.
don't know if I'll shave my eyebrows though. That's kind of.
How much?
I mean,
did
they're going to grow back.
I know, but that's not.
Women shave their eyebrows all the time,
I ain't doing that.
and they're freaks.
paid Dune.
So, is there anything we missed?
I was trying to think.
Yeah, like the third quarter of the movie.
According
It
to
was
the
so-
statistics
There's too
listed
much to cover.
by Showbiz Galore for his beyond spectacular performance,
Spectacular.
he got paid $250,000.
Only a quarter?
Only a quarter. Yep.
Wow, $250,000
Yes. This.
for
Yep.
that role.
Yeah, that role.
Well, he's not famous enough yet
He's in Masters
because
of the
he was
Air.
making that like immediately after Elvis.
Timothy
so.
Chalamet.
He wasn't Disney.
Timothy Chalamet got paid 3. Zendaya got paid 2.
Did you
Rebecca.
say Zendaya?
Yeah. Rebecca
Zendaya?
got paid 600. Austin got a
Dang.
quarter.
No, when they went on a
hey,
strike.
guess what? Pew, she got 300. She got more than he did. Batista got $1 million. He got more than Butler. Christopher got $200,000 for his. Gurney got $500,000.
Like, how many days of shooting do you get like $200,000?
Gurney.
Christopher Walken only had like 2 scenes.
He could have done that in like
Christopher
2
Walken.
days.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
Still, yeah.
that's good. That's good for him.
How much do you think the budget was?
$250 million.
I think he probably just looked this up.
I did not. I just guessed.
300 million.
Somewhere around there.
I'm gonna
That's a big guess for me. I
say
don't know. I'm not good with numbers.
choose 280.
Okay, I'm very impressed because it's below 200.
Really?
What?
What? That's a bargain.
It's 190.
That's
Wow.
a bargain.
Considering
What's
Fast
its
and
current box
Furious
office?
X, it's equal to that.
Oh,
It may-
Fast and Furious X. Are you comparing all those?
Well, I mean,
no,
it
it would
cost
have
like
to- it would-
$300 million, and it looked terrible.
Well, Fast and it's because all those wife beaters.
It would
for
have
Diesel.
to be. It would have to be low
Those
budget
AI
because they
white
didn't pay
beaters.
the actors anything.
That's true. So,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
all our budget's going to sand.
You know, Fast
and
X, all them buttholes.
They had
are
to
probably asking
hire
for-
the worms.
They had to hire the worms. Vin
the
Diesel
worm,
played
the worm union.
They should have someone should like Jimmy Fallon should interview one of the worms.
LOL.
Because we got a great guest for you guys tonight. Oh, this guy's the best. He's the best. We got the worm. We got Shalib. Shalib. We got Shalib.
Everybody. It worms the cockles of my heart.
Jimmy dies of laughter. Oh man.
Gotta love Jimmy.
So did y'all see the popcorn that was the worms?
The popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did y'all see
That was a very hard meme.
Wait, what?
So anyway, yeah, the worm in the bucket, it was very strange looking. So probably not for children. Let's just say that.
The bucket was like the mouth of the worm with like the teeth and everything.
We'll just end it there.
Yeah.
And don't ask any questions, Paige, because I see your mind vigorously working.
It's vigorous.
You'll never figure it out. Stop asking.
Quit worming around.
I'll just Google it.
No.
All right.
Don't image search.
Google's the answer for everything.
All right. Final thoughts on the wormening.
Since I have not gone to the theater this year, this is the favorite movie of the year.
Favorite movie of the year?
That is-
First off, because mostly they always dump crappy movies in March. That's how they typically.
But that's not
release.
really the case anymore.
And now it's not because streaming's killed everything.
Yeah. Used to like February. February's
February's bad.
That's where you dump all your trash. But there's been some Fast and Furious open in March.
Yeah. Well,
there's
trash.
I haven't seen the last one.
Me either.
Which one?
Fast, whatever it was.
Fast for.
X. It was
Faster.
It was entertaining. It was entertaining.
They're all entertaining.
Okay.
But is it
Any
good?
final thoughts on Dune Sharde before you give it a rating?
Oh, I have
any
to rate it?
Final thoughts?
Of course.
You want me to come back to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know I don't like to be 1st
I'll go to Jerry because he's always got thoughts.
My final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
The sound, the visuals, everything about it, the fact that it's a complicated story and it's told in such a way that's easily understandable. Yes, this is going to be one of those movies that's going to be hard to top this year.
I would agree with that sentiment. Also, I like it better than the first one, unlike you.
Yes. They're both.
As much as it didn't have the emotional connection, I still thought this was a feat of cinematography.
Yes.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
was amazing.
I agree with you there.
Sound.
I'll have to say, yeah, overall, I thought this movie was incredible. I love the music and how it made me feel like I was like not breathing half the time. I was just it was so intense.
It was engrossing.
And, yeah, engrossing. In the sand, it was so good. It looked good.
She said this movie was tasty.
It would look tasty.
Delicious.
I do like this one better than the first one, even though, like I said, I felt more emotion the first time. But this one was just like, whoa, baddie.
This seemed like more of a spectacle.
A lot was going on, and I liked
Definitely.
to see it. I like to see it.
1 out of 10 sandworms. What's your rating?
8.5.
I agree with that. 8. 8. Am I 8? Yep.
I'm gonna give it a 9.
Wow.
I couldn't quite give it a 9.
It's good. It's good.
I was judging whether I was gonna give it a 10 or not.
Yeah, he's holding back. He had to rein it in.
I had to rein it in.
Pull back that word.
Okay.
It lost the 1 point for the lack of emotional
If
connection.
you would have
yeah.
cried,
But otherwise, this movie was.
if Al Shalib had
incredible.
made him cry, it'd have been a 10,
Honestly, if we're putting in the cinematography,
which we are.
cinematography,
I almost wanna go
sound,
9.
Action.
Okay. So
that's kind of hard.
I
but yeah.
gave the first Dune a 10.
What?
I
The
loved
noise
it.
that he makes.
I don't remember what I gave the first Dune. I really liked the
It was
first Dune.
good.
I don't
Really loved
remember
it.
what I gave the first one either.
This
good.
one was freaking amazing.
So it's like, okay, I think I give it a 7.5.
That is so low. You are rejected.
Wow.
I have lost our respect.
I don't know. Something about it was incredible.
Hey,
don't get me wrong.
But it's only a 7.5.
7.5
This is
really
why
good.
y'all's podcast failed.
So
It's
it's
really
this guy
good.
right
I'm not
here.
listening
That's
to
your
the
problem.
voice.
Really good,
No,
guys.
an
Okay,
8
it's
an
more- it's
8
better
is
than
really
average.
good.
really good.
Okay,
Eight.
it's better than average.
Give it an 8, Gabi.
Gabi.
7.5 is too low.
I can't quite give it a
I was
10.
literally watching this movie, and about halfway through, I'm like, I mean, it's a spectacle. It's well done. It's obviously quality. I don't feel anything.
He is stretching to make that a 7.5. That's not your truth. Live your truth. How do you really feel about it?
7.5 is
No,
it.
you don't.
I think that's how he
7.5 is not. I watched half of it and didn't feel like I was into it.
Because I'm giving it the quality. It's a quality movie. I acknowledge that with a lot of movies.
I'm thinking about the sound.
It wasn't by any means a bad,
Cinematography.
boring, slow movie. I just
Oh,
didn't feel a connection.
Mind blowing.
I don't know what to say.
Space nuns.
Space.
Dune
thinking
Part
about-
1 for me just blew my mind.
Austin.
Maybe this one, because Dune Part 1 exists, I therefore had, this expectation
Austin.
set.
I want to know what about Dune Part 1 was so great.
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac was good. Yes.
He was
You
attracted
were
heavily to
raving
the
about
beard.
Part 1.
It was good. Yes.
Until you've seen Part 2.
No,
and you
I agree, but you act like part
Okay,
1 was
so-
so much better, and I'm just not seeing that.
I've told you what I liked about Part 1.
I like
So
the gurney.
Gabi liked the character.
There was more interaction
relationships
between the Atreides.
developing.
The old school Gurney, which was Patrick Stewart, has the best line in all the Dune movies, where he says, "Moods are for cattle and love play." That's the best line. It's like the first 5 minutes of the
That is
original
true.
Dune.
Well, that's when he was training Paul.
He's training, and Paul says, "I'm not in the mood." And,
He's like,
and
okay.
Patrick Stewart goes, "Moods are for cattle and love play."
I know your footsteps.
Yes.
So this one,
Great
the
line.
first one, there was more interaction, the family feel. You could sense the care among the family and the Atreides house. There was no the mama
Johnny.
Rebecca Ferguson kind of like, I just want my boy
But
to
they
be
all
emperor.
died. They all died. Chani
Paul is like,
Chani and Paul. Chani and
forget
Paul.
you, Chani. I'm going with Irulan. And
No,
it's
that was
like-
at the last 5 minutes of the movie. Listen, I think here's what summarizes it. Because nobody that was good died, you're not emotionally connected to it. There was nobody good in this movie that made a sacrifice and died. And
No,
because that
I
didn't
some of
think
that
happen.
it's
immolated
more Gabi just
Yeah.
wanted everyone to be
No, I-
happy and
I
love
like
each
the
other.
emotional connections between the characters in the first movie. That
Yeah.
didn't exist in this second one.
Chani and
I'd agree with that.
I have to
I'd agree
agree
with
with Gobs. That is true.
We've already said Chani and Shyamalan
Didn't have the chemistry.
They
But
don't
didn't-
have
they
any
didn't have the
chemistry.
chemistry, but it was all so close. We wanted it. We wanted that to work out. But because of the
I'm okay with it not working out
the
too.
royalty thing, he's
Like-
gonna have to marry the emperor's hot daughter.
Yeah.
We feel for him.
All right, so
Wanted-
that's going to do it for this
It's a bad. Okay.
disagreeable
Disagreeable
nerd
nerd /
reunion,
board game snobs.
Yeah.
and maybe we'll do it again for another movie someday.
Right,
I'm
Deej?
We got Godzilla vs Kong coming out.
That's
There
gonna
you
be.
go.
That's
Anybody?
gonna, yeah,
Yeah. We should totally do that.
Godzilla -1. Have you seen that yet?
No,
I have not
You haven't
seen
seen
it.
-1?
I haven't seen -1. I
I'm
plan on watching it.
No,
but I haven't seen it
I
yet.
love Godzilla and
Me
I missed
too.
it.
All right.
I watched the
that's gonna
TV
do it
show
for
with
this
Kurt
episode.
Russell.
God.
That's
That was
good.
a good movie.
My God.
My God. Godzilla.
My Godzilla.
My Godzilla. Minus
Godzilla.
They need to do a remake, do a crossover where the guy's riding the worm fights Godzilla.
Oh my
Al Shalib.
Wormzilla.
Kong versus Worm.
All right.
Godzilla's got worms. It just comes out of him.
Thank you for joining us this episode. I'm Gabi.
I'm Paige / Sharde. Later, dudes.
This is Jerry.
I'm Deej.
Bye-bye.
I'm not in the mood.
Not in the mood. Mood's a thing for cattle and love play, not fighting.
I'm sorry, Gurney.
Not sorry enough.